right, welcome to the House of Hoosier podcast presented by the Field of 68. This is your host, AJ Guyton. I'm here with a special guest. You're one of the Hoosiers' best players. Going to be, in my opinion, one of the greatest ever when it's all said and done. We got TJD in the building. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, man. I thank you for joining us. I know you're getting hyped up, ready for the season, man. You get prepared for, what is it, Tennessee Tech we playing?
Tennessee Tech Wednesday.
Yep. Nice little practice game for us as we get going. Serious game. I know you guys excited about, the season getting started, man. Tell me how excited you are about that, man. It's almost been a while.
Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been so long since we've last played.
Right.
Just from the summer. And not being really able to play up and down, just working out, and then finally getting a chance to in the fall and just leading up to this moment Wednesday. So I think our team's really ready.
Absolutely. I'm excited too, man. I mean, I've been on the bench and I don't play anymore because I'm washed up, but I've been down a little bit just like you, man, just not being able to be full throttle and with the fans and getting in the gym. Signing autographs, just connecting on that level that we're used to. So I completely understand. But in an effort for me to get to know you, I'm gonna jump this thing off what I call my Hoosier 10. All right. And it's 10 questions that only you can answer. All right, here we go. So freshman year, what dorm or apartment complex did you stay in?
We stayed in Evolve Bloomington. We were actually the first class to stay in an apartment.
Oh, okay.
If not, we would have stayed in Briscoe, but Evolve it's like a new apartment complex.
Yeah.
It's right by the football stadium, so it's really nice.
You should have wanted to be a Disco Briscoe guy, man. I was Disco Briscoe straight across the street. So if I was late, I could get to practice on time. But that's awesome, man. Favorite restaurant to eat on campus?
Favorite restaurant? I'll probably say either Mother Bear's or Buffalo Louie's.
Okay, all right, Mother Bear. I gotta try Mother Bears. How about who's been your toughest matchup so far in the Big Ten? That dude you couldn't figure out last year.
Toughest matchup, I'd say probably Luka Garza. He's a great player. He got the best of me that night, but luckily we came out with the win. So we're looking forward to playing him this year.
Couple opportunities this year. Don't even worry about it. What's your toughest place to play?
Toughest place to play was definitely Purdue.
Ooh.
It was loud. It was super loud. Probably besides Assembly Hall was the loudest place that we played.
Absolutely. So far, your most memorable Coach Miller moment? Practice or game?
So far, probably. Let me think. I would say my favorite moment with Coach Miller was last year, and it was right before we played FSU, and he was talking about locking the doors to Assembly Hall, and he was trying to fire us up, and he was getting super fired up, and I just thought that was really cool, and it really pumped us up and got us ready to play.
He's fiery, man. I love Archie, man. Who's the team comedian?
Team comedian, I would say probably me and Jerome Hunter.
Okay, good. A former IU player you most like to meet?
Former IU player that I most like to meet. I mean, I've met Vic, but just trying to meet him on a deeper level, I think that would be
different level, cool. Right? Yeah, connect with him. I like that. When I say historical IU moments, what comes to mind? I mean, like the 87 shot or the Watt shot or something, and it happened to you.
The first moment I think of is definitely the Watt shot. I still remember where I was. I was in my old house sitting next to my dad. Mm-hmm. And I went crazy when that shot went in, but that's probably the most historical moment I can think of.
Absolutely. And what 4 players are on your IU Mount Rushmore? Exclude yourself, because you might be on there one day. So exclude you.
I'd have to say Calbert Chaney.
Yep.
Cody Zeller.
That's okay.
Victor Oladipo and last one I'd probably say Jared Jeffries.
Jared Jeffries. That's a different list from everybody. I love that. Okay, cool. So that was my Hoosier 10, man. Fans get excited about that. You might regret a couple answers. So you get at the end, you want to say something else, let me know. So let's jump right into your recruitment to IU, man. Who was the first coach from IU to reach out? And were you excited about that? Or you was getting so many offers, he was just like, it's cool.
Actually, the first coach to reach out was Coach Crean. That was my the beginning of my sophomore year. It was them in Purdue, and then they kind of reached out like the fall before my season started, and then they kind of went away, and then Purdue was recruiting me, and then that I would say the spring where Archie got the job,
Okay.
Coach Ostrom and Coach Miller really put an emphasis on recruiting me, and they talked to me every day from that moment until I committed. So
Awesome. Awesome. What was your first impression of Coach Miller?
My first impression of Coach Miller, I really didn't know him that well. Coach O did most of my recruiting, but
Okay.
as I kept getting to know him, I thought he was a really good dude. He was really honest and what he saw for my future, and I really liked it.
Yeah, he's an intense guy, right? I mean, I know them practices. I know he takes it to the next level when it comes to just coaching you hard.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
that's good. That's good. So you chose IU out of a list that included like UCLA, MSU. What was that final thing that you said, you know what, IU the place for me?
Just the history on Indiana basketball, how this is a Hoosier state. UCLA, I like them a lot. Coach Offord, who's an Indiana guy, I really like that. But at the same time, it was super far away from home. And then here, just Assembly Hall, the fans, Coach Miller and Coach O, them putting a super big emphasis on recruiting me. I just thought it was the place to be.
Absolutely.
So why would I leave it?
I mean, in Indiana, born and raised. I mean, I don't know how guys leave.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, that's bananas to me because you just don't get the same feel as it just being a guy, the Damon Baileys and the Coach Steve Offers and now you. So, man, that's awesome. You had an excellent freshman year, man, all league, all everything, man. But you had an opportunity to leave. You saw the draft last week. I know it was a lot of your friends picking up a lot of dough. I know they flashing it to you. They let you know. So, I mean, any regrets? And why? No, before I get the regrets, why did you decide to come back?
Honestly, I came back because I knew that Christian Lander, the 5-star point guard, I knew he was going to reclassify, and I really think that we have a chance to be really good. And I put that in the back of my head. And then with COVID-19 coming out when we were playing our best basketball in March, and not being able to go to the NCAA tournament, it's a once in a lifetime experience. And I thought we made it last year, and then this year I'm thinking the same thing. So I'm just trying to build on what we tried to have last year, and just playing in the NCAA tournament has been a dream of mine since I've been little. And so that's what I want to do. And no better way to do it than do it in your home state. So
absolutely, man. Hey, that's a great answer. And I was also, Big Ten freshman of the year. Well, I was Big Ten freshman of the year, and I had to come back and have a stellar sophomore campaign. But I knew coming into my sophomore year that I had to get stronger. I had to be even more consistent with my shooting and just open up other parts of my game. In your game, in your repertoire, what did you feel like you needed to improve the most?
I definitely improved on my strength. I know in my vertical last year was about 41 inches. Now I have it up to 43. And then with my strength, like my bench press last year, I had about 10 reps. And then this year I got 18. So I've been really improving in the weight room with our coach. He does a really good job. And then with my ability to score, like shooting the ball, picking pops, and using my right hand, I've been putting a huge emphasis on that this year and using it in practice. So I'm just getting a lot of reps, and especially with that, and it would also help improve my draft stock for either this year or whenever that comes to be.
Oh man, I was hoping I ain't hear that. So you might leave next year. You might have to go through this again next year, man. I thought we was gonna have it for you. No, I'm just kidding. I understand that, man. You got to definitely improve your stock, and put the world back, put on notice. You know what I'm saying? So have you taken on more of a leadership role with the team this year?
Most definitely. I consider one of myself a leader on the team. We have a lot of vocal guys. We have about 4 or 5 vocal guys. All the seniors are really big leaders. Joey Brunk, Al Durham, Race Thompson. and then myself and Rob Finnessy, we all try to get the guys going. So
awesome, man. Awesome. That's one of my biggest regrets. I felt like I could have been more of a vocal leader when I was in college, because I would talk all my stuff behind the scenes and in the locker room, and I would be locked in and focused. But sometimes your team needs that fiery competitor. You know what I mean? That AJ Moye, that Victor Oladipo, that guy that just, that night, we don't have it. I got to bring energy. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that you're taking that step in that direction, because I feel like that's one of the things that's missing. It's a guy like you to say, you know what, I'm a pass or fail. It's on my shoulders, but y'all coming with me. And that's what I want to see. So what teammates do you feel have improved the most from last season? And which freshmen are you impressed by so far?
Which teammate do you think I think I've improved the most?
Yeah.
I'd say Race Thompson.
Yeah.
He's really elevated his game and his body in the weight room. He's shooting the ball at a really high clip, and he's playing really well on both ends of the floor. And then Armand Franklin is another guy who I think probably cracked the starting lineup this year. He's shooting the ball really well, and he's getting the hole really well. So those are two big things for him. But those are probably the two guys. And then for freshmen, I think all the freshmen have improved and impacted our team in a different way. With Trey Galloway, he brings a toughness to the floor. And he's really, really strong guard. And then Anthony Leal shoots the ball at a really high clip. So having him is really good. And then Jordan Geronimo is a freak athlete. So rim protection, he blocks everything. So and then Christian Lander, he's a really solid point guard. He's still trying to get a feel for the game, and but he's doing really well, especially for being how young he is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you guys, what looking back at comparing the two teams, the team from last year and the team from this year, what is the biggest difference so far that you've seen?
I think the biggest difference this year is, I think especially when we play, we're going to be able to space the floor a lot more. A lot of last year we got clogged, but I think playing a 3-guard lineup will really help that. So instead of us last year, I think we played Justin Smith and Jerome Hunter at the 3. But this year we're going to probably have 3 guards and then have Jerome play the 4 more. And so I think that will help us space the floor and be able to draw our guys out, especially for me, to get better, more like space to operate inside and then kick out for shots and stuff of that nature.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big game against Tennessee Tech coming up, man. What are you anxious to see from your team?
I'm just anxious to see how we play together. We've been playing a lot against each other, but like never really have we had a chance to all be on the same team and just play against another team. But just the way that we've been playing in practice, how we go at each other every day, I'm really anxious to see how that translates over. So I think it's gonna be good.
Awesome. All right, we got 2 minutes left, man, and I want to take you to the last segment called The Honest Truth. Okay. About my teammates. All right. So I want to ask you this: most likely to get kicked out of Archie Miller practice?
Ooh. I would say probably Jerome.
It's usually those athletes.
It's not yelling, but it's fighting with other players about foul calls and stuff of that nature.
Just competitive. Getting ultra competitive. That's what I can see that. Most likely to forget a play.
Jordan Geronimo.
Okay. Which teammate does the best Coach Miller impression?
Which teammate does the best Coach Miller impression? I'd say. I'd say probably Joey Brunk.
Joey Brunk. Okay. All right. We're gonna ask Joey to get on here one day and do it for us. And the final play drawn up for you. Which teammate is most likely to break the play and shoot it himself?
Christian Lander.
You said that without hesitation. And finally, do you think this team is ready to compete for a national championship?
Yes.
All right, cool, man. Well, we looking forward to it. You were awesome today, man. I'm excited about seeing you guys play. As a former Hoosier, always cheering you guys on and loving to see that tradition that's all the way back and ready to take that next step. And I think you're the guy, man. I think I won't put too much pressure on you. You got some good bigs in the league. You got some people you need to show up and handle. Garza. I can't stand Illinois, so I'm expecting huge things. So think of number 25 when you playing in Illinois, man.
Yes,
Handle
sir.
you can go 0-18, beat Purdue and Illinois, and we good. But
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you're gonna handle your business and a bright future for you, man. Look forward to watching. Thank you. We got Trayce Jackson-Davis, everybody, man. What's your Twitter, Trayce?
Trayce Jackson.
Trayce Jackson on Twitter, man. You follow him. You guys make sure you hit the follow button on the House of Hoosier podcast network. Hit subscribe, leave a review. Thank you, Trayce, man. You have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you play Wednesday, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Take care. Peace. What's up, everybody? This is the House of Hoosier podcast. It's your host, AJ Guyton, and we've reached the Ask AJ section of the podcast. This is where I allow you, the listener, to send in some questions to me, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I have my partner, Austin, in here, ready to read off some of these questions. Fire away, Austin.
All right, first question comes from Jerry Hain Jr. from Evansville, Indiana. Being from Peoria, what experience made you feel at home in Bloomington, and how long did it take for you to really feel at home?
Oh, I think that the opportunity to be in Bloomington was felt immediately when I got on campus. I mean, just the love for athletics and the love for this, basketball, and just the way that the people embraced you once they figured out who I was. The way they embraced me, man, it was something I never felt before. We have a rich tradition of basketball here in Peoria, but it's not passionate and rich like it is in the state of Indiana. It's a huge difference. So, whenever I need that basketball fix, I always go back to Bloomington, man. I can always go and see some old nostalgic pictures and go see my picture and take some pictures and just get that fix that I need. And what was the last part of that question?
Just how long did it take for you to really start to feel at home?
Okay, and it didn't take long at all, man. I think I forgot about Peoria. So after my first class, I mean, just the campus, people don't understand how beautiful the campus is. I think we have one of the best groomed campuses in the country, in the world. And that's not me going to Indiana bragging about that. That's just a fact. If you go in the spring, in the fall, and the summer, you'll see that. So it didn't take long at all.
I can second that. Beautiful, beautiful campus. All right. Yeah. Christy Greenhunt asks, when did you know it was real? As in, was it the signing, your first practice, the first game? Describe the moment when you actually realized you were not only a Hoosier, but one that the fans would fall in love with.
It was my first game. It was the UConn game. I think we played UConn at the RCA Dome, man, and I was so nervous. I couldn't. It was 35,000 people in there. We playing against Jim Calhoun and his Huskies, and Richard Hamilton and Jake Vosco, guys I end up being friends with later on. But just I knew it was real when I was able to finally get a basket. Like, I was like, oh, this is for real. Like, I'm part of this. And I think as a freshman, you just want to get the jitters out and you want to feel like you're part of it. And then, after that, it was more just each day, the intensity of the practices and the intensity of Coach Knight, it make you feel real, really fast. Because if you're not locked in, it don't feel real, you're going to get left behind. So it didn't take very long. But after that first game, I think I was ready, destined for greatness with the Indiana Hoosiers.
All right, Doug Reingart, I apologize if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong, from Greenwood, Indiana, who, before we ask the question, would like you to know that he named his son AJ after you. Okay. What venue other than Assembly Hall was your favorite to play in?
Oh, man, and what venue other than Assembly Hall? First of all, thank you for, naming your son after me. I felt a little tear coming down. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that away real quick. But, I think, and Trayce Jackson from Greenwood?
In that area, I believe,
okay,
yes.
I think I read up on it. But anyway, that was really random. But, I feel that the toughest place to play outside of Assembly Hall wasn't tough. It was a great place to play, honestly. But obviously, Michigan State, Purdue, Iowa, and Minnesota. Those are the 4 toughest places to play in the Big Ten. Iowa used to lull you to sleep with a pink locker room. You used to go in there and then you read up on it. You know, that color for some reason makes you drowsy and you fall asleep. And it's tough to win there. Minnesota, I love playing there, but I don't think guys were used to playing on a raised floor. You know, I absolutely loved it because Purdue was somewhat raised. I think the seats were below the floor almost at that time. And I think that was all. Michigan State, I mean, the fans are right there. I think they were rolling. They were really good at that time. I mean, they've been good for the last 20 years. And I think it started my sophomore year, the Michigan State run. But it's just something about that gym. It was a great shooting gym, and they were so tough. So if you had an opportunity to win, man, that was you were really accomplishing something. So, and then I cannot forget about Wisconsin. I think we talked about that on the pod. They just bore you to death. I mean, it's just so quiet and just you got to create your own energy. You can hear the ball bouncing. Like it's just a weird atmosphere. So those 5 places I would say were toughest places to play outside Assembly Hall. But I would say, if you won, I always said if a team that won Assembly Hall could win a national championship.
Kevin Ploiger asks, he's from St. Maurice, Indiana. Really enjoyed the episode with Steve. You two discussed a bit about Coach Knight's superstitions and was wondering if you had a favorite or a good story that resulted from one of those superstitions.
One of my favorite superstition of his was the walks that we had to take for pregame. So before pregame meal, we always had to get our coats on and go out and take a long walk. And I can't remember what day it was, but I remember we did get lost. And Coach Knight, he blamed it on an assistant coach. I'm not gonna put him on blast, but it was an argument all the way back, and we were dying laughing back there, man, because we got lost. But I don't think people understand how that walk used to wake us up, especially, you know, the Big Ten in December, January, February, as cold as it's going to be. So I think that superstition of Coach Knight's I like the most. So I think that was the best one.
All right, final question from Kevin Allison. Reminder to everyone listening, submit your questions. We'll pick 5 or so for any time we do this segment. Kevin Allison from Avila, Indiana. What opposing player did you enjoy playing against the most, especially in terms of smack talk?
Smack talk? Nobody ever talked stuff to me. I was disappointed about that. You know what I mean? But the person that brought the best out of me, I think, was Mateen Cleaves at Michigan State. You know, he came in, he was the like one of the number 1 or 2 point guards, and he was was on one of the best teams. And he wouldn't talk at all, but I knew he was a competitor, and I knew he would get upset when he was getting scored on or whatever. But he was the guy that, you know, each night I wanted to just, every time I played against him, I wanted to play my best, and I believe I did. And ironically, Mateen is one of my best friends today. So, but it was one guy that talked trash to me that got the best of me. I can't remember his name, but he played for Missouri. He was a shooting guard. He was really strong, and he was able to chase me off picks. He was talking a little stuff. We won the game, and I hit a couple big shots to win the game, but he got the best of me over that period. All I remember is his name was Clarence Gilbert. That's what it was. So that's the guy that got the best of me talking stuff at Missouri, but we got the W though.
That's all that matters, is getting the W. Submit your questions to AJ for the Ask AJ segment. We'll get to the best ones here each time we do the segment. AJ, that was good analysis from you there. Looking forward to getting to pick your brain a little bit, just like you pick all the brains of the interviewees that you bring on the show.
Right. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm excited. Make sure you get your questions in. Ask AJ, ask away, baby. House of Hoosier fans, click the subscribe button. Make sure you leave that review. Let us know how you think we're doing. We want to give you the best content we possibly can. We can only know that if you leave a review, and we'll get right back to you.